Okay. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing well. It's Tuesday, right? I don't know. I've lost my days. But hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're going to talk about social media and talk about mainly recovery and resilience. There's a lot of things that are going on in the world right now, right? And it can be vastly overwhelming. So we're just going to do a quick little slideshow or slide deck about just building resilience and helping out during these kind of trying times. All right. For those of you that don't know me, no matter you know me, but Tatiana, I think I've seen you around the office. But my name is Trista Ochoa, and I am the Behavioral Health Program Manager. So I oversee a couple of different programs here at TMHA, and I will be your speaker for today. So welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Got your PAAT swag, so that's good. All right. I'm gonna go ahead. And can you see my screen? Am I sharing my screen? Yep. Okay. All right. Oops. And now it's gonna totally just go super fast after Jen. All right, boom. Here we go. So what is resilience? So there's a little definition here, right here. Resilience is the ability to withstand adversity, bounce back from difficult life events. Being resilient does not mean you never experience stress, emotional upheaval, and suffering, but resilience involves the ability to work through emotional pain and suffering. Why we're starting here with social media is because I feel like we live in a very accessible world, right? Your phone gets updates from the news, your phone gets text messages, your phone gets all of these different things in real time, right? So if a sports team wins a championship, then the minute they win, it seems like even if you're not a sports fan or not, you get an update saying, "Oh, hey, Indiana won the college football championships." And that's great for football, but we tend to get that for all news. And I know that we won't touch too deeply in it, but over the past weekend, there was a horrific event. There's been a lot of kind of events that have been happening where it's vastly making people feel unsafe, kind of anxious and nervous. And so resilience building is very important in mental health because resilience is actually what helps sees us through, right? These events, right? Stress, resilience is what helps us kind of push past those events and kind of help us return back down to baseline. So having resilience is important. So how do we build resilience? So building self-awareness, investing in yourself, develop skills, manage stress and perspective, nurture positive relationships, and get connected. So we'll go through each one of these. Self-awareness. Now, how many of you have an Instagram account? How many of you have Facebook or all these different things? Yeah. Okay. I think one of the most important things that I have been learning this year is when to tune out, right? When to kind of put that on the back burner and focus more in real life relationships or just meaningful relationships, focusing in here in the present and in my community. And usually one thing that kind of tips that scale for me is my self-awareness. I'll start to check in with myself. If I notice that I'm just a little bit more anxious, I live with depression. So if I'm feeling a little bit more depressed, or if I'm feeling a little bit less hopeful, a little more hopeless, I kind of just really check in with myself and like, how am I feeling? And that is usually a cue to me to be like, maybe I should stay away from Instagram or Facebook and really focus in on things like the Hope House, right? Going to groups and being around people in my community and spending time laughing and having a good time with friends and staff. So, what is self-awareness? It's the ability to see yourself clearly and objectively through reflection and introspection. There are degrees of self-awareness as it exists on a spectrum, right? I think self-awareness is something that we all need to develop because it really does give us a cue on how we're doing inside. And I feel like for me, I see a therapist, I see a psychiatrist, and so self-awareness is really important for me because when I start to feel symptoms kind of creeping up, when I start to feel a little bit more suicidal or a little bit more depressed, I can then communicate that to my treatment team, to my support system, and be like, "Ooh, I'm not doing too well." Same thing with social media. As I start to watch these TikToks, or actually, I don't have a TikTok, but like Instagram Reels or Facebook Reels, I start to kind of check in with myself. I'm like, how is this making me feel? Is it making me feel like good? Am I learning something? Like, am I learning how to crochet? Am I learning how to knit? Or am I just kind of falling into this despair pit of doom scrolling and seeing all the negative things that are happening in the world? The self-awareness theory was developed by Dukel and Wicklund in 1972. And the idea is that you are not your thoughts, but the entity observing your thoughts, and you are a thinker separate and apart from your thoughts. So kind of that top-down view. In meditation, we talk a lot about that too, where you're just an observer of your thoughts. If you think about it, it's like watching a freeway, and your thoughts are the cars in the freeway, and you watch them kind of go and come and kind of cycle through, but you're not that person. You're just observing. But what you do spend your time on, what you focus on, ultimately kind of becomes all encompassing, right? I don't know, how many of you have watched a sad movie like something sad? You've watched Marley and Me. Let's have any of you watched Marley and Me? No, the dog dies in the end because he's an old dog, but that really depressed me a lot because I love dogs. I love them so much. And so to see that, and it kind of sits with you. Have you ever watched a sad movie and you're like, it sits with you for long periods after, where you're like, why am I sad? It was like, well, I watched a movie like 2 hours ago and the dog died and now I'm just depressed. So just having that awareness that like what you consume through media and through the internet, that ultimately feels kind of sets you up to feel a certain way for the remainder of the day. And that's where that self-awareness kind of comes in, where you're like, oh, it's because I watched a sad movie, or it's because I spent 2 hours doom scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, and now I feel just kind of dysregulated and unhopeful, and be able to recognize that maybe it's time I take a break from social media. Maybe I read a book. Maybe I watch something funny. I really like Bluey. I don't have any young kids anymore, but I love watching Bluey because it's simple and it's fun. So to kind of pep yourself back up again. Yeah, Renee.
You can also on social media go through your account and either block certain topics or I know on Instagram, I haven't looked at it myself, but it will say like the topics you've been liking, and you can X out that topic so it won't show up on your algorithm for a while. Yeah. Yeah, you can do stuff like that where you can take stuff off of your filter or block certain subjects.
Do you think do you know Facebook really well?
Not really, but yeah.
I wanna delete, I wanna block some people I feel I'm in danger.
Oh, you can block them, but also if you don't wanna friend them, you can mute them, just not seeing their posting on your newsfeed.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the Verizon store later and see if they'll help me just delete my whole Facebook. 3 of them, because I keep forgetting that I'll make a new one and I'll have the other one still. So that's a goal of mine, is to be mentally aware. Definitely not do that.
Yeah, I'm sure people here will be able to help you with that.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
I want to delete my Facebook. Maybe keep some of the pictures, but then. Yeah.
There's several different things you can do. You can deactivate, and we'll talk about it a little bit later on. There's some apps that help you manage your screen time too. Because like, you know, I struggle with Facebook. That's like my last holdout, because I really like Facebook Marketplace, where people sell like their old stuff, and I can find some pretty good used stuff on there. So I really struggle with like deleting my Facebook, but there are some really good apps that we'll talk about later that help you manage your time on social media screens, just to make it a little bit more healthier.
Yeah. Hi, do you remember me?
I do, yeah, hey.
Hi, I missed you. I think about you often, and I really wanted to go to the PAAT meetings, and I didn't know this was going on today. Tatiana wanted to be with me. We've been walking. We got over 11,000 steps today.
Oh.
We're trying to get back in shape and accomplish our goals for the new year. I'm just like, yeah, I'm trying to I'm trying to get the other app that I had last time on my phone, so we have my phone, so I can get it and, I'm trying to get the other app.
Okay.
The other app says I'm supposed to get, 6-7 steps a day, and then it will say it, but the app that I have now, that my brother got me, you can, you can get like 2,000 steps, and they'll say you did a good job, but I think I'd like a challenge to walk 6,000 steps a day.
And current app, you could possibly change the settings to 6,000. Could you do that?
Every day, I did it every day this is the 4th year I've had it.
Hey,
The 5th year that I've had, the, Galaxy phone that does that, so which is really nice, yeah,
Alright.
yeah. Today, I like going around and promoting local businesses,
Oh, fun.
yeah, I like to help them, me and my girl, cause a good deed is a good deed.
Mm.
So. Anyways, go on.
yeah, no worries, but congratulations on that amount of steps. That's a
Thank you. I tried to jog and run it, and it's hard.
Yeah.
I'm
it's hard.
right now, and it's hard for me to. Like people were like, "Come on, just do it." I'm like,
Yeah, I haven't been feeling well myself, so I've been just kind of laying in bed for some weeks, and so running would be very difficult, starting from nothing, so it's building up.
My friends tackled me down. They're like, "You have to go to track. You have to do track." So I went to did track in high school at Mobile High, and eventually I started smoking again, and I didn't want to. I wanted to continue running. I didn't want to. I wanted to do long country routes. I love running and stuff free.
Running and walking are so good for you. Running, just make sure you're taking care of your joints, right? Because that's the most important thing. But running and walking, just such great like breathing and exercise, and really like runner's high, that clear mind. It's such a great place to be.
Yes, yeah. Reminds me of that. I was just watching the What Women Want, and he's like, here's the girl's thoughts, and it's like he wanted to they're talking about running, playing free. What's his name?
Mel Gibson.
Yes, there's a Valentine's party here. Here? No, Santa Maria. Wait,
I think that's for her.
yeah. Maybe my boyfriend gonna go.
Right.
Well, Valentine's Day parties and running, that kind of leads us into our next topic, but self-care, right? I started trying to titrate down on social media by every time that I wanted to doom scroll or I wanted to just kind of veg out, I was like, okay, I caught myself and I was like, let's refocus my attention. And so one of the big things that I do for self-care is reading. I really enjoy reading. And so when I would catch myself kind of doom scrolling, I was like, all right, you need to read your book for at least 20 minutes before you can go back on social media. And oftentimes what I would find is that I would then just finish the night reading because I would get really sucked into my book and I wouldn't want to put it down, and then it'd be time to go to bed. So I'm just saying that worked for me. I'm not going to say it's working for everybody. Another thing that I did was every time I would catch myself doom scrolling, I would have to go and work out for 15 minutes. I have an elliptical in my house. So I'd be like, all right, you're doom scrolling. So go work out for 15 minutes and listen to music. And just to kind of challenge to disrupt my behavior because I didn't want to just sit there and continue doom scrolling. And then, yeah, so, but self-care is so important. Like we talked about, Amanda, like walking and running, hanging out with friends, going to Valentine's Day parties at the Hope House, or going to fun groups. Those are all important aspects of our self-care. And that takes us away from the screen, right? We're in the moment, we're in present, we're connecting with people, or we're doing something that's helping us build skills or push other passions. And so finding those practices, those habits and routines that help you decompress and focus on healing and restoring yourself. I think oftentimes, I mean, who's guilty of it? Sometimes I just want to veg out and I'll just doom scroll. And that's not the best way for me to restore that balance after work or after a hard day. And so reading a book or working out, shooting some basketball, these are all healthier ways to kind of build that self-care practice. Does anybody have any self-care that they really love doing?
Self-care things. Oh, I like to do like get my hair done, get my nails done, go get a massage.
Yeah.
I like being rich, so I love that. Eating good food. I like to pray before I eat and bless my food. So it's delicious and nutritious for our bodies. Make sure it's right, because some people, like, I know some people eat fish and stuff, and I don't know if that's really, I've been debating in my head, like, I don't know if real fish is good. I like fake crab and stuff. It's better than eating like crab, I feel. Even though it's good, I don't know if it's really good. Maybe, like it could be so good, but I don't know if it's really that good.
Yeah, it tastes good, it might not necessarily be good for you. But
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
be.
But just because it tastes good doesn't mean it's bad for you either.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's, I like to say everything in moderation, except for moderation. You can go crazy on moderation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Yeah, I think that's a lot of great habits right there, right? So like building your meal planning and cooking is also a really great self-care activity for you. Massages and like those types of like instantaneous self-care to kind of get you realigned and back is really great as well. So a lot of good things there. Thank you for sharing.
yeah.
Reflection. Just reflecting on your actions and possess and evaluate if they are in line with what you want to achieve, right? So, I think we'll talk about it a little bit later, but social media is also a really good place to learn new things, right? You're learning how to crochet or learning how to knit, getting some good book recommendations. These are all great things. But if what you're consuming is not in line with what you are trying to achieve in your life, I think that should be a red flag for you. Like, oh, I'm consuming a lot of content around like the party life and stuff like that. But I don't want to be that type of person. I want to be an intentional person who likes to, meditate. So trying to, like Renee talked about earlier, trying to shift your focus more towards things on social media that are in line. So there's some really great channels out there for like free yoga. There's some really great channels out there that help you meditate and learn how to kind of expand your meditation practice. So being intentional in your social media consumption is very important. And then let go and grow. As we work through issues to build resilience, there will be failure. So as we work through all this, we're going to come back to like, I don't know, I call it like trashy TV, but like things that aren't good for us to consume. We're going to go back to it. It's like McDonald's hamburgers, right? Sometimes we just have to go back to the McDonald's hamburger and we have to take a bite of it. And that's going to be fine. Take a bite of it, everything in moderation, but then acknowledge that and then be like, all right, but I still want to continue down this path. And so if something isn't serving you, let it go. Let it go for now. I think when we talk about the news and everything that's going on, I think there is something to be said about taking a break from it, right? Consuming as much as you possibly can. And then, maybe taking a break and then working on you to make sure that you're right and that you're, in a good place. And then maybe consuming more later on. It can get really frustrating really quick if you're consuming so much news and kind of the despair that's in the world that you can often find yourselves in a very dark and negative place. And so knowing your limits, doing that self-assessment is so important.
Yeah, you mentioned hamburgers. My doctor said that pickles and cheeseburgers and stuff wasn't good for me for some reason. Like my body weight and all that stuff. So I've only had probably like 5 cheeseburgers within 5 years. Yeah. I would only get it, like my mom, she's like, Mom, we're going downtown, we're gonna get them in and out. I was like, well, do they have veggie? The only thing they have there is the lettuce wrap thing, that's as far as they go. But Firestone has the best garden burgers I've ever had.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you found something that's good, that's a substitute then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that that can apply to a lot of things in our life, right? If something isn't great, right? So cheeseburger, but finding an alternative that can serve that same purpose, but that's a little bit of a healthier choice.
Also, I'm kind of on the opposite end because with my chronic illness and pain, what have you, I'll be laying in bed feeling hungry and not feeling well and not feeling well enough to cook. And so sometimes self-care is ordering the burger through DoorDash and just being able to actually feel like I can eat. So sometimes it's self-care doesn't look like the most optimal thing, and that's okay too.
Yeah, it's different strokes for different swimmers, right? So,
Mhm.
like, some people prefer this and some people prefer other things. Albert?
No, like you can indulge in
It's a once in a while.
yeah, like a
Yes.
once in a while thing, and that could be part of self-care, even though, something that you do in moderation and it can fit into the whole grand scheme of it.
Mhm.
Sorry, my computer's off. So developing skills, obviously, practicing gratitude, shift to optimism, or at least being neutral to situations, challenge negative thoughts and self-talk. This really kind of feeds into social media tends to be a place where we can quickly build a viewpoint of a life that we should be living, right? So there's a lot of people on there, they're flashing money, they're flashing fancy cars, they're flashing like expensive things. When I think of this, I think of like those TikTokers or those social media people that do like those stalking videos where it's just unrealistic of like what they're stocking in their kitchen weekly or how much they're consuming. And I think a lot of times people fall into that mindset of like, oh, I have to have X, Y, and Z, or I have to have this type of car, or I have to be on vacation every month, or I need to travel, this many times a year. That's a comparison. And oftentimes on social media, that's a curated view of someone's life, right? So that's just what they're trying to show you to prove a point or to get something across or to sell something. I think, you really need to just kind of be like, what is real for me, right? And then challenging those negative thoughts of like, I'm a failure because I don't have this type of car, or I'm a failure because I can't stock my kitchen like this every week. Challenge that. That's not reality. You know what I mean? Oftentimes, reality is dishes in the sink, we're driving a used Honda, and we are paying our bills but living on a budget. And that's okay, that's okay. And that's normal. And that's how, we live life. And so really just challenging those thoughts of like inadequacy because of what you're seeing on the screen in front of you. And just being like, man, that's a curated view of someone's life. That's typically a lie. You can watch a lot of like behind the scenes videos of YouTube, and these people really just curate what they want you to see to sell something or to get a certain reaction. But that's not their everyday life.
Yeah,
Who,
it's good.
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
First.
Yeah, it's good to remember that like often what you're watching is like a commercial for some stuff they're selling you. It's not the reality. It's basically just a long commercial.
Yeah, it is. It's a commercial that's curated to like your likes and interests because the algorithm is so strong.
Yeah.
And
And my point that I'm gonna add is that it'll be interesting to see how this changes in the next few years with AI. Because now with filters and AI, we don't really quite know what's real or not. So the person that's the influencer may not actually exist.
yeah,
So now we're starting to get to the point with social media that is that person even a person? Is that car really real? Does that person even look like that? Are they using some sort of massive filtering program? So it'll be interesting to see how we view social media in the future because we're just at that beginning stage. So we'll see in the next 5 years.
yeah.
Already starting to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes if you're careful, you can point out. You
Yeah,
can You can tell like when something's fake, you gotta be,
Yeah, that's getting
Careful.
better all the time, but right
Yeah.
now you can kind of tell because the image is sharper, it's a little too clean.
yeah,
But it can still
be
be
hard,
tricky. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, those are all valid points. I mean, AI, man, it's a trip and you have to be really careful. And I just I'm taking a psychology class right now, and one of the things that they're really, really focusing on right now is just asking yourself questions as you consume things online or even on TV, and just asking yourself like, okay, well, what source is this coming from? Is this source like what's their backup sources? So like in a scientific study, like when they say, oh, rage rooms are scientifically proven to help with anger, like what's their study? Like where did they get their facts from? And so it's important to ask yourself those questions. Is this real? Like, let's look at the picture. Is this actually a factual picture? Is this just something that's generated? But yeah, disconnect from the screen, get connected in real life. I think that's one of the biggest things right now is just reconnecting. COVID threw us all for a loop, and it became really easy for us to connect over screens. But connecting in real life, having a conversation with somebody in the moment, in the present, like right in real life is something that I think our culture, not just American culture, but a lot of cultures in general, struggle with now. Like there's been studies like our youth have a harder time with social interaction because of kind of the after effects of COVID and being kind of closed off. Like all of us in this room, we're kind of above a certain age, but we can remember having like full sessions at school, but really just getting connected. So getting connected to things like, of course, the Hope House, TMA events, community events, talking to people, getting out there can really help combat that need for social media, that depression that we experience when looking at the screen and seeing a curated life. Is just getting out and talking to people and connecting and having a good time. Seek out support groups, therapy, and other avenues to talk. I think talking is important, and get out in nature, I think, is a big one too. We live in a beautiful area where nature is just like steps away, right? That's not to be said about like LA or anywhere in those big metropolitan areas, but we can go to the beach and we can hang out and watch the waves. We can go up into the mountains, we can hike, we can walk around. Even sometimes cityscapes are beautiful. So like Amanda was talking about walking around with Tatiana. I mean, that's even kind of therapeutic, right? Just kind of walking around, experiencing people around you, looking at the twinkling lights if it's nighttime, or like the signs and the pictures. So get out into the world and just kind of walk around. I think I have a friend whose favorite thing to do is to buy a large coffee and then just walk around slow downtown and just experience the community and the events and things like that.
Yeah, I wanted to, 2 years ago, I was going to the Sunshine Pool and doing water aerobics every Tuesday and Thursday from spring to summertime. And then this last year I've been just not, I don't know what it is. I've been sleeping in, or something is blocking me from going. And that's the goal of mine, even if it's a challenge and hard to do, I want to be able to do it. And I do want to start doing some yoga classes at home, because I have all this stuff at home. All I have to do is move my little coffee table out, and then I can put my phone to my TV and watch beginner's yoga.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I have these old Pilates DVDs, and so I moved on to. Well, it's getting increasingly long ago, but I still haven't hooked up my TV VCR, and so it's like I usually watch things on my laptop and what have you. So it's like, oh geez, and again moving the little my own coffee table, and so I'm like, yes, I really should. I'm a slow moving ship.
Yeah, I live right up the street from the adult school.
Oh,
So
good.
I was gonna do some gentle yoga for the new year, and I didn't get a hold of my DOR manager, caseworker, and I wanted to wanted to go really bad,
If
but
you're interested tomorrow, I'll be doing gentle at 12:30 here.
here, 12:30?
Tomorrow, 12:30.
Really? You wanna go?
I don't know if I can, I have something tomorrow.
Maybe we'll make time.
Yeah.
What is it, that only where you sit down and do stuff? Or do you
I'm
actually
doing both. So like some members do both chair for some pose, floor for some pose. Some member just sit and chair all the time.
Yeah, but well, the thing is that tomorrow I have an appointment at the team office with Coral. But if I end up changing my mind, maybe I can do that.
Okay,
And
yeah,
is that available next week?
Yeah,
yeah, I'm there every week,
So
12:30
there's plenty of
Wednesday.
opportunities.
yeah. Okay. Right.
I'd also like to
It's
share,
not video, you know, just us, no screen.
Okay.
Speak of the screen, no screen.
Uh,
Real time engagement, right?
I really like yoga with Adrienne. She has some really good nighttime routines to help you kind of like right before bed, kind of relax, do some deep breathing, do some stretching to help you. She's a free resource on uh, YouTube. So I would check her out for your nighttime routines and then definitely get hooked up with the Hope House for like the weekly class because there's nothing it's great to do a yoga class in person because then you can kind of see other people's form, kind of adjust your form, learn tips and how to what's it called? Alter movements to best fit your body because everybody's different, right? Some people have knee injuries, some people have this, and so it's just really good to do a yoga class in person. That way you can get that kind of just feedback from other people.
yeah, I know, and that's why I wanted to go to class because I feel like the teacher and it's right there to motivate me to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe we could do a crochet class here because I know Liz really wanted to do something like that. I don't know.
No,
Yeah, that sounds like fun. It's getting increasingly trendy, crochet and other stuff. Yeah. I'm sure you'll have a lot of interest with.
so manage stress and perspective. We talked about stress, we talked a lot about like eating healthy, exercising. I think sleep, especially for those of us that have mental illness, um, sleep is probably one of the biggest things that we need to be able to just recognize when we're not getting enough sleep and then make changes for us to get enough sleep. Sleep is so important to our health, to our mental health, to our balance. And so that's something to really take into consideration, taking care of your body. We talked about deep breath, yoga, stretching, meditating, and then eating healthy. We talked, right? Eating healthy and, I think moderation, right? Eat the hamburger, but maybe eat some vegetables too. You know what I mean? It's all in moderation. All right. Perspective. And just understanding that you have your own perspective, right? So perspective is the way individuals see the world. It comes from their personal point of view and is shaped by life experiences, values, their current state of mind, the assumptions they bring into the situation, and a whole lot of other things. Reality can be different things. I think that's really important when we talk about social media is one video and there's 20 million different takes, right? Because everybody has their own different perspective and perspective. And you're coming at it from what you've experienced, your biases, your background. And so that's important to know when you're consuming when you're consuming social media, is that you're coming at it from your perspective and to just be curious, I think, a lot of times. And yes, there's definitely a right and a wrong, but definitely just being curious, asking yourself those questions of like, where is this person coming from? Why are they saying what they're saying? Or what's being presented to me? Is this truthful? Is this factual? Having those questions, especially when social media is concerned, I think is just better off for everybody. All right, limit screen times. So here's just some negative effects of social media. We have increased anxiety, depression, low self-esteem due to cyberbullying, unrealistic body image pressures, and the fear of missing out, right? That's a big thing, right? I think that's why we have such a consumption craze of like, everybody wants the little mini Trader Joe bags, or everybody wants this specific type of shoe, or everybody wants, this type of thing, because it's that fear of missing out. And I think social media really drives that. Um, Disruption of sleep. The blue light from your screen is a sleep killer. So, have those filters on. And then yeah, scrolling. I'm guilty of it. I've been scrolling until like 12 o'clock in the morning just because I can't sleep, and that just feeds that, right? And I'm just keep scrolling and it keeps getting later, and then there it is, like 5 o'clock, and I'm like, I should just get up for work and just go to work, and now I'm tired. So set limits, concentration while also spreading, and here's where we get into that, spreading misinformation, creating privacy risks, fostering superficial connections, particularly affecting developing adolescent brains. Youth tend to have a lot more, you see a lot more negative side effects with youth. And then the dopamine driven reward loops that can lead to addiction, pulling focus from real life activities and relationships. So really focusing on that in real life stuff. That's important.
Yes, going. I remember when I first came to the Help House, that was over like 5 or 6 years ago now. Julie was working here, and we would go play games over at the park. So I would yeah, I would love to go. I even have a volleyball. It's like, just basically.
Oh.
So I wanted to do something like that. Go for a walk. I wanted to do the 12 for the soul, but lately I've been just liking to sleep in. I was reading this magazine and it said sleeping in is really good for your mental health to get up on your time.
Yeah, different people need different amounts of sleep. It's recommended to have 8 hours. A lot of people don't get 8 consecutive hours. So if you're able to get the 8 hours, you're not sleeping in. You're getting the right amount of sleep.
I used to be really sleep deprived all the time. I would only sleep like every other day. And it would really like, after a while of doing that, it would really affect my mental health. And but I kind of like corrected that. It's like I sleep mostly every night now.
All right.
Not every night, but mostly every night.
All right, congratulations. For me, I have the issue, especially with migraines. Best thing to do for me is sleep. And if I sleep too much, then I get a different kind of massive headache. So if I don't sleep, then I'll get a migraine.
And if you don't, yeah. It's down.
Yep.
So limit screen time, we talked about it earlier, but apps like Opal, which is strictly for iPhones, but Freedom, Screen Zen, Stay Free, Forest, Barrier, and Minimalist are for both Android and iPhone. And they help you set time limits to your screen time. And it can be specific, as like you kind of list out specific apps that you want blocked out. Or it can be a total block out, and you just have access to your text messaging, and or it's a wide variety. And then consume on your terms. With the world being so connected, it is okay to set limits when, how, and from whom you consume information. Find selected trusted sources and consume as you are ready to take information in. And I really mean that with the news. Like, it is a lot that's going on, and so just protect yourself, protect your mental health, be present in your life for those that love you, and it's okay to set limits and be like, I can't consume that right now. I will, come back to it. That's perfectly fine.
Also, I'll add, there are also different apps that you can download for your laptop or desktop, as well as just cell phones. So there's all sorts of stuff out there. There are different browser options if you don't want to have an app where things can shut down or be only partially available to different things.
And if you want to go like a little extreme, you can use like a different kind of phone that doesn't have like not a smartphone, but like what they call them, dumb phones now.
Yeah.
But they don't have Android or iOS. They just have more like a basic operating system.
Yeah.
But you can still get Facebook on those, so you gotta be careful with those too, I think. So.
Facebook is everywhere. Oh man, that's a hard thing to
So do you guys, one of you think that you might be able to help me delete some of my Facebook?
I could probably help you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Albert's a pretty good tech guy.
Yeah, I know about tech.
Okay. Be realistic.
Yes, be realistic. Though social media also makes way for contention, increased anxiety, depression, cyberbullying, all those negative traits. There are benefits to it as well, right? Social media offers benefits like enhanced connection with friends, right? So if your friend moves across country, you can totally connect with them via social media. Expanding your social groups too, right? We live in a small area, and so sometimes I remember growing up and like not having people who liked anime. I'm a big anime fan, but not having people who liked anime in my close proximity and not being able to share that. When an online came, I think when I was in junior high, that's when like dial-up kind of really hit the mass market, and I was able to build a connection with communities that also like things I like. So there are good things too. Supporting self-expression, identity formation, and access to support networks. There's a lot of great support groups. We were talking earlier in another meeting about like CODA, which is Codependents Anonymous, adult children of dysfunctional families and alcoholics. There's a lot of great kind of support groups that you can access online as well. And then also just learning, right? It's a powerful tool for education. You can learn about pretty much anything that you want to learn about, right? You can learn about dinosaurs. You can learn about the Ice Age. You can learn about fossil fuels. You can learn about everything now because of the web and how expansive it is. You can learn new skills. We talked about it: crocheting, sewing, dancing, even yoga. We can learn a whole lot of things because of social media. Finding jobs or making it valuable for personal growth, business, and social awareness. I think there's a lot of good things for social media, but with the good also comes the bad. And so that's why those limits, that self-awareness of constantly checking in with yourself to see how you are, having that perspective and questioning where sources are coming from is so important to kind of keep things in balance. And it's going to take one of the biggest things that I'm really going to push is just try to nurture positive relationships with real connection. I think one of the things that we are seeing that social media really plays into is this loneliness epidemic, right? People that are really connected online can often feel lonely inside. So try to foster real connection. That might be online with a friend that's moved across the country. That may be your neighbor. That may be a friend that you walk around town with. But foster those relationships. Get connected with people. Have meaningful conversations to you guys. Spend time with people instead of just on a screen watching curated content. That's really how you combat that loneliness, the anxiety, depression, is connecting with people and spending time with people, whether it be in the same room or just kind of via text message, email, or in a chat room. Okay.
I think there's I've seen kind of like a movement among young people where they're kind of like rebelling against social media in a way, like
Yeah.
embracing like older technologies and older traditions and older hobbies. And kind of like, I think they are doing that. They are fostering human connection and sort of like turning away from the screens and not, within reason,
Yeah.
trying to find a balance.
Yeah, I think they're exhausted because they've grown up with it, and so it's not like with me that kind of grew up along with it. It kind of came up really in my 20s, but kind of gradually built up with Web 1.0 with GeoCities and forums, and then you got Live Journal and MySpace, and then that was like my teens, 20s kind of thing, like late teens, and so like I've kind of grown up a little bit with it, but I know like somebody like Trista's daughter's age, it's like it's always been there.
Yeah.
All like I mean Facebook is like what 20 plus years old now. It's that they've always been there, that they're older than she is a lot of times. So it's definitely different, and so it's exhausting. It's always been there.
But she was never ending.
Mm-hmm.
Is it forever scrolling?
Just more ways to get connected. We talked about it a lot, but support groups, Hope House, community support groups, Meetup are great things. Heck, what's it called? Captain Nemo's has a game night that they have, having just get in connection with people. Toastmasters, there's so many great community events that we have. Community classes, Amanda talked about the adult school. Take a class, learn how to sew, do some yoga, take a history class, get connected with other people outside of your normal sphere. And active groups, join a gym, do a yoga class, go for a group hike with people. There's some really cool meetup groups out there where people can just go and have a hike with people and just experience other people while being active. Activity, connection are just such great things for your mental health. I like this quote. I don't know why I threw it in here. I just really like it. But there is an ancient wisdom by Laozi that the strong wind may topple the sturdy oak, but the willow bends and lets the wind pass through it. As we kind of grow up, right? We're continually growing up. We have to embrace change. We have to change habits, right? So I'm 40 and my eating habits, my activity habits, and like social habits all have to change because I'm at an age where, I can't be up all night. That's just going to wreck me. I can't be drinking. I can't be smoking. Not that I ever really did, but I can't be doing these things. I have to adjust. I have to change because I have to bend with where I am in life. And I think that's important. Back to that self-awareness, continually checking in on yourself and knowing like, hey, this is a point where, maybe I need to just put a pause on social media or put a pause on this activity and readjust just to better serve myself so that I'm in a better place. All right. And then just a reminder, realize deeply that the present moment is all you have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. All right. And that is all I have. Does anybody have anything else about social media, about mental health, about groups and activities that they want to talk about or share?
I would like you to email me a little like a week ahead of time when there's something so I can make room to go to more PAT meetings in the Hope House.
Yeah, we put you on the email list.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got email list.
Yeah. She gives me you give me someone gives me the email every day.
Oh, you get the email, right?
Yes. I don't have the.
No, the PAT email. Okay, yeah.
Oh, I think.
You get the Hope House email.
I get the Hope House and sometimes I get the PAT, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if we need it for the new year.
Yeah, double check her email to make sure, because I know I added it to the packet. Might be.
Take it on your email?
Yeah.
All right, give me one second. All right. Okay, what's your email?
Amanda with a capital A.
Okay.
TOE 2424@gmail.com.
24.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll make sure you're on our list. And what we could do, since we wanted to do more of Hope House, we could possibly send the flyer to you guys, like maybe 2 weeks in advance potentially, so that it can be potentially on the schedule easier. See about that. Because I know we have one event coming up, it'll be early, the second week of February, which would be good for Hope House. It was the self-love and compassion meeting. So that would be good for, that would definitely be great for here and get the flyer out to you guys.
Yeah,
So we can figure out, and also figure out what time might be best.
Yes, I was just about to say the afternoon would be best for me if we could rearrange it for other people that like.
So this time is good for you, 3 to 4:30?
Yeah.
This is a good time, 3 to 4:30?
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, we can keep it at this
Yeah,
time.
let's keep this time first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good, yeah.
Is that it?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Well, thank
We have more questions and comments.
I had a thought,
you.
like, we're talking about connecting with people and stuff, but sometimes it's good to have alone time too, just,
Yes.
you know, you don't always have to be with people, you can enjoy alone time and you can do things, do activities by yourself and, you know, and still have a good time.
Yeah, I'm very much introvert, and so I do enjoy hanging out with friends and stuff. Usually I'm more of a one-on-one kind of person. So it's like one or two people is good, but not a whole lot of people. Yeah, I still need time away. I like a lot of me time. Just me and my cats.
No, that is true. It's good to be able to sit with yourself in silence and just be like,
I also like to take that time to figure out where I'm at, because being alone means that I can monitor how I feel and what I'm thinking, and just also it can be things from direction of my life and how I want it to go in the next few months or years, but also just being able to sit in myself and go, all right, what am I feeling right now? It is real, it is like that kind of stuff. It is are my perceptions reality, or just kind of, or just not even thinking of anything at all, just lying there going, okay, I'm sleepy, just
sorry, I'm eating a bagel because all of a sudden I got really hungry, but
understandable.
Oh, I can't
How's the
wait.
bagel?
I can't wait until springtime. I'm gonna get my little mini bagels with the cream cheese and cucumber and tomato and maybe some other goodies. Yes.
bagel is good, Albert. It's everything, so it's delicious.
I bought a bagel the other day, or like about a couple months ago at this coffee shop down the way. And they gave me some cheese in a cup. I thought it was some kind of weird new cream cheese, but it was Parmesan cheese.
Oh.
And I started putting it on my bagels. And they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we actually gave you Parmesan cheese."
That's interesting.
It works, but I like cream cheese more with bagel, the
Yeah.
Parmesan cheese.
It still works, right?
Yeah.
Right, it works, the cheese is.
It's kind of a bummer though when you take a bite out of something and it's not what you expect.
Right.
That's
Right.
Yeah.
But then it's
Not really too bad.
Yep.
All right. Well, then I will leave you all. Thank you so much for coming. Hopefully, I see you afterwards.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much for
much.
choosing this topic. Was very important for everybody.
Yeah.
This topic
Yes,
was
yeah.
great
I
topic
have-
to be chosen and discussed, and I really appreciate it.
It's interesting because we chose this topic several months in advance. It just happened to work really well with all the crazy stuff that's going on the past this month. So yeah, it just happened that way.
Yeah.